everyone, and good evening to Richard. A very warm welcome to UNBC MSM Agent E-Summit 2021 Live. My name is Mehak Bedi, and I am the admission manager for UNBC at MSM. I'm pretty sure that this webinar will certainly add value to your knowledge and experience for UNBC. This session will be taken by none other than our International Recruitment Manager, Mr. Richard Fu. But before we start, we would like to take you to the basic features of the Zoom webinar. There are multiple options in your control panel. Please note that this is a webinar and your videos and mics will be inactive. Participate in the webinar by raising your hand option from raise hand option, which is present in your control panel. Any questions related to UNBC, please put up in a Q&A section and we will be happy to assist you. For any technical questions, please drop into chat box. Now, over to you, Richard, to take this ahead for all our participants.
Thank you for the warm introduction, Mehak, and thank you for joining us today with this UNBC kind of training session, but more of a job outcome and the job prospect of graduates from UNBC. So I appreciate that you guys are joining us today. And I'd like to thank MSM for organizing all this webinars for us, because this is my way of teaching you guys and letting you guys know of the different opportunities that are available at UNBC and the Prince George and the Caribou region. So let's start with the presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat box or the Q&A question. I'll be able to answer it at the end. This will not take more, the presentation itself shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. And we'll be able to answer any questions that you may have about the job prospects or the different jobs that are available currently in Prince George, okay? So moving forward, the agenda item today is job search at UNBC, how students can find jobs at UNBC or how students are able to find jobs in the surrounding area. We're going to go through the type of university UNBC is again, and then we'll do a fair comparison between the graduate outcomes of the same type of university. And there's also other links that I will provide to you guys, and you guys can take screenshots of it, or I can send it to Mehak and the MSM team, and they can distribute that stuff to you guys as well. So this is the quick agenda item. So let's start. So partner and agents update. Just want to go through the type of university that are available in British Columbia. So we're looking at the medical university category. They offer medical degree, and that's one is University of British Columbia. Research intensive university, we offer PhD, master's program, generally research based. That's UBC, Simon Fraser University, University of Victoria, and then there's us, University of Northern BC. We're the youngest and the smallest research university in British Columbia. Then there are the hybrid universities, TRU, Thompson River University, Royal Roads, then the teaching university. Now you might be questioning me, why am I listening to this? I've heard this a billion times. Well, this matters because the type of jobs that you get afterwards, it matters if you're going to a research-based university or a teaching university or vocational, because they teach very different styles. The pedagogy and the learning outcomes are also very different. So this is why UNBC, being a research-intensive university, does have its advantages, because it does teach students more critical thinking skills, more teamwork skills, and all that sorts of stuff that matters in the current employers. What they're looking for is problem solvers. If you go to a vocational or a trade school, they just know how to do their trade. They don't really solve the problem, right? So this is why I'm going through this again. Okay, so employment outcome. This is from the federal Canada. So this is from Statistics Canada that went through and did a job evaluation of degree graduates versus college graduates. And over the last 5 years, this is what the median they came up with. So the different types of jobs that you get with a degree, you get consultant, you get management, instructor, professionals, whereas the jobs that you get for a certificate and diploma is mostly assistant, trades, administrators, and also the hourly rates for degree graduates versus college graduate is definitely higher. It's almost $10 an hour higher. So there is a income discrepancy as well for students with a graduate degree versus a college diploma or certificate, okay? So going on, we are looking at the different types of jobs that are available for students. So students, when they are part of UNBC, they can even start going through this right now if they have access to the UNBC portal. They just have to log in. And this is the website link right now, Career Center, Student Job Posting. So if you just type unbc.ca careers-center, you'll be able to pop up this link. And this is all the jobs posting that are available that are filtered by our career counselor that other employers in the city or around Prince George region will submit job description, or they will submit offers or whatnot on the job description board. So we'll take a look at that right now. So this is where when you log in, you'll see Career Center here. I'm using my profile right now, so there's not a lot of stuff on my calendars and whatnot. This is actually a good look at the UNBC My Portals. And as you can see, you can do different announcement. If there's a job available or there's a new co-op, for example, you can also find it at the UNBC portal as well. So this is just a screenshot of below, and this was taken today. So as of today, right now, there's different types of jobs that are available, from fishery technician, for example, or if you want to be an accounting clerk for the city of Prince George. There's a community service for director of youth of community service, summer student for the Native Center. You have planner, who is part of the Ministry of Forestry, Land, Natural Resource. So this is the federal government as well, or this is provincial government, I should say. Archaeology, you have the YMCA. So you also have Lululemon, which is a big clothing company. I'm not sure if they have one in India, but it is a pretty well-known yoga apparel company. And they also have different private organization as well. So it is segregated by the different types of degree that you need, or diploma, or even if you just have a high school diploma, you'll be accepted. And they may have some program specific requirements. So for example, if the fishery technician job, they require somebody with a background in biology, environment and sustainability study, and environmental science. This is because it's related more towards ecological consulting, which is what the employer is. And they also look at the application status as well, if it's currently open. So as of today, right now, just in Prince George alone, there were 85 different types of job posting. And if you include entire BC, the number actually came up to be about 280. So there is a lot of job postings in the job posting board right now for students, even for summer students who want to stay here and, in Canada or British Columbia, but get a job in another city. Okay. So moving forward, there's also job searching sites and also the career prep tools. So how to prepare your resume, what is job search strategy, how to write a cover letter, preparing for an interview. What do you do for networking questions? So these are all available for our students to go through, and they give you tips and hints on how to increase your odds of getting a job. Okay. There's also video series on how you should dress, what you should do, how you should speak to employers. So these are all available. And once we become in person, which is likely going to happen for our September intake students, then you can go into the Career Center and book one-on-one appointments with our career counselor, and they will be able to assist you some more, giving you hints and tips on how to get jobs. Okay, so this is the job search site. And as you can see right now, the website, this is still with that same website, but they just dropped down the different menus here. And these are all the job search sites that are available. Students can go in here and find the different types of jobs and just go through each one. Okay. I'm going to also pull out a few that I think is also pretty good because they're federal government jobs, or they're promoted by Work BC, which is a crown corporation that promotes the job for the public places. Okay, so these are the job sites. So if you click on jobbanks.ca, these are the sites. You also have Work BC Center, Prince George. And if you want more information about the type of jobs and the regional profile and whatnot, we can definitely look into that as well. Later on, what we can do is we can click on each one of this link, and I'll show you the different availability on each site as well, but we'll run through the presentation first. Okay. So this is the job outcome for University of British Columbia. As you can see here, this is the BC Student Outcome Data View from 2018 to 2020, okay? And this shows the type of summary, skill development and employment for students who have completed the bachelor degree at the University of British Columbia. And there is no specific program. And this is the program name if you are trying to filter it by programs. So looking at this right now, you'll see that 92% of the students are very happy with the instruction. The median age of the graduation are 25. They're satisfied, 90% are satisfied with their education. 85% of them are working full-time. 71% of them are working in a job related to their field. So this is a pretty good statistics, and this is for the University of British Columbia, okay? So looking at the employment number, 86% of the graduates are in the workforce. The median annual salary is about $55,000. The unemployment rate of their graduate is 8.3%. 78% of them are employed, and the students who are working full-time, meaning at least 30 hours or more per week, is 85%. And 71%, like I said, was related to their job. So remember this number here, the median average annual salary, okay? $55,000. Now, we're going to look at Simon Fraser University, SFU. So bachelor, Simon Fraser University, same statistics. Their median graduation is 26, 90% of them said they're happy with their job. 88% of them are working full-time. Unfortunately, only 68% of them are in a job related to the program, okay? Now let's look at the employment number. Even though 91% of them are in the labor force, the annual salary, the median annual salary is $50,000. They have a lower employment rate than UBC. UBC was 8.3. This is 6.9. And 82% feel that the knowledge and skills they gain were useful in performing that job. So just to recap, UBC was at 55. Simon Fraser was at 50, okay? Now we're gonna look at University of Victoria because I'm basically doing a comparison of student outcome for all research-based university. Now looking at UVic, University of Victoria, 93% of them said quality of education is great, 92% are satisfied, 87% are working full-time, and also 73% are in jobs related to their field. So a little better than Simon Fraser, but it's still at 73%. The median graduation age is 26, okay? Now, looking at the median annual salary, they're looking at $52,000. The unemployment rate is higher than Simon Fraser University, but lower than University of British Columbia. And 86% or 70%, 73% of them are doing jobs related to their field. So that's important. Now let's take a look at University of Northern BC. Our graduation median is 26, so that's the age where they graduate. We have 92% of our students are very satisfied with their graduation, and 78% are in a job related to a field, okay? Now, 88% of our graduates are in the workforce, and the average median salary is $56,700. And look at our employment rate. It is one of the lowest unemployment rate in all research-based university. 88% of them says that the knowledge and skills they gain are useful in performing their job, and 78% are in a job related to the program. Now, why is this important? This is important because if you're graduating from a Bachelor of Science in Biology, you want to do something related to your Bachelor of Science program. You don't want to work at Tim Hortons, you don't want to work in a restaurant or even at the bank because you don't have well, it's not saying that you can't pick up those skill sets, but it's not what you were trained for. It was not what you gained education for. You definitely learn a lot of transferable skills. For example, how to do teamwork, how to do work with others, and how to write in concise manner. But you are not really utilizing the other part of your biology degree. okay? So these stats are all available on this website here, which I'm gonna click in a bit and show you. And then we can go through other institutions if you want. But the BC labor market outlook is something that I want you guys to look at because it gives a 10-year trend of what the BC labor market will be like. And I've shown this before in the past. There are a lot of jobs, especially in the Cariboo region where Prince George is located, that needs to be filled. And they expect it to be filled by international students or new immigrants. So that's something that we need to look into when we are trying to plan for students, because ultimately a lot of students from India are looking for immigration, and in order to do the immigration side of things, they need to get a job. They need to get a job that is related to their field. And so far, Prince George has been providing for those graduates. And our students, as you can see in the last data, are getting about $56,000 in median salary. This is for undergraduate, by the way. We're not even talking about master's program, okay? So this is it for my presentation, but what I'd like to show you is a few other things about that website that I was talking about earlier. So I'm gonna go jump on that website right now. So as you guys can see here, this is the career fair website that I was talking about. This year, because of COVID, we had a virtual career fair with CNC, which is College of New Caledonia. And if you click on the employer list, you can see all the employers that showed up virtually. Now, some employers aren't really made for virtual fairs, but these are the ones that came out with virtual fairs. So we have Freedom 55 Financial, we have BC Public Services, we have MMP, we have Provincial Health Authority. I apologize if my screen is going dark because my flux is on, so I apologize for that. All right, that's better. Okay, so we have TD Bank, we have KPMG. These are just some of the smaller ones. We have Canadian Border Services, Canadian Armed Services, and even educational and provincial health services. So these are just some of the stuff. And remember the job search site that I was talking about? Well, these are actually the entire list of the job search sites. So you can go work for federal government, foreign affairs and international trade. If you want to learn more about what travel cut voyages campers are, or monster.ca, which is a very interesting site. And also, if you want to go search on LinkedIn, for example, as your job search, you can actually go into this career prep tool. And like I said, these are some video series, 2 to 5 minutes on how to do resume, PowerPoint, different types of job application. You can do a personality test at UNBC to know what type of jobs are suitable for you, for your students. Or you can use LinkedIn to chart your career path, and it shows you how to find jobs in LinkedIn. So these are a few guides that we put together for our students. On top of that, nope, that's not what we want. So to get into the job board, which I showed you earlier, you do have to log in to here, which is actually just my UNBC login account, okay? So it will take you here. I'm already logged into the system, so it shows you all the different types of jobs that are available. As you can see, we have jobs available for worksite, work from home, Maple Ridge, Chilliwack, Surrey. These can be part-time jobs, or they can be regular full-time jobs, and you can filter them by full-time if you like. Say full-time seasonal. So full-time seasonal jobs are available with Prince George, Kamloops. This is hotel, housekeeping. We have material handler, nursery, corporate development, even a bus driver. That's kind of cool. Education or environmental educationer. So this will be talking to students. And other types of jobs, sales operator, administration in a asphalt company. That's actually good training. So there's different types of jobs available for our students. So they just have to go into the career website. And also, this is the Work BC website that I went to find out what the post-secondary job outcomes are, okay? So they took part in 2018 to 2020. It's an ongoing thing. So let's go look through, oh, this is the PPT. Sorry. Okay, so this is that site that I was provided earlier. This was the link. And any suggestion on school or program diploma? No? Okay, let's go for bachelor degree. Which school do you want to look at? Let's maybe look at Capilano. Okay, so we're looking at Capilano. Clicking on this link, it will tell you that, hey, the median age is 27%. 96% of the students are very happy with this school. 82% are in the job they're related to. And what's the employment rate? The employment rate median income is $48,000 for Capilano. The unemployment rate is 5.5%. And 82% are in a job related to the field. Okay. And also this is, if you scroll down further, it says working in a program related to the field. What are they? Social services, health, and whatnot. And skills by program. So that's also something that you can look at as well. Let's take a look at another school. Maybe let's go with University of Fraser Valley. Okay, University of Fraser Valley. They don't have employment rate is 5.8%. The median annual income is 51%, and 78% are in the job related to the field. Okay, taking a skill development, they all think critically and they can analyze stuff, work independently. They can speak effectively, write clearly and concisely. These are all the available areas that you can find all the stuff. You can also look at other institutions, say Vancouver Island University. So VIU, employment rate at $50,700 and employment rate 5.6%. So far, it looks like UNBC is one of the higher ones. I mean, I haven't looked at a lot. Let's take a look at Capilano. Capilano is at 50,000. Railroads, is that higher? Railroads is higher. Railroads is at 58,000. Whereas UNBC was at 56. So it's a little bit higher than UNBC, but I believe we have a lower employment rate. Let me check that again. Yes, we do have a lower employment rate. They have it at 6.2%. Okay. So these are just some of the sites that you can take a look at to talk to your students. I mean, if you really want to talk about diploma, we can do Coast Mountain College, how much their minimum wage are, or CNC, for example, what the minimum wage. So you guys can go through this and then talk to your students about, hey, is your learning outcome going to be more or less? Northern Lights College is $18 an hour, for example, or what else? What other school has diploma? So BCIT is at $25 an hour. So these are just some interesting stuff and statistics that you can look at, and you can explain to your students and the parents saying that, hey, if you do decide to go UNBC and complete your bachelor, you are actually one of the higher, according to statistics, you will earn about a $56,000 salary a year after you graduate. So if they ask, wow, it's only $56,000, well, you can pull up and say, well, UBC Vancouver, the graduate only makes $55,000 a year, and the cost of living in Vancouver is significantly higher than in Prince George. So when you make $56,000, it's almost equal to making about $65,000 if you were to live in Vancouver, because it's a bigger city, more expensive, transits are more expensive, even driving around is more expensive. Okay, so this is the high opportunity occupation where I have reported this in the past. So looking at the Caribou region, which is where we are, these are the certain types. Did it even change? I assume it did. So these are the ones that are available, the high working jobs. If you're looking at something realistic, I think that's what we're under. Nope. I probably need to refresh this page. All right. So clicking down here for degree and looking at Caribou. So these are the jobs that are available right now in the Caribou region. Financial auditors and accounting. So students are in the BCom program, taking finance and accounting. Accommodation manager, looking at $28 an hour to start. Managers in healthcare, if they have a BSc in biology or even biochem, that's something they can do. And other financial officers at $35 an hour, that's not bad. Financial managers, $44 an hour. That's actually more than what I make. What else is there? Researcher, $38 an hour, not bad to start. So there are quite a few jobs that are available right now in our Caribou region, but you guys can go through this if they don't want to live in the Caribou region or they want to live in Vancouver. So Lower Mainland, for example, you have more options there. Okay, so those are just a few things. Now, this is also Work BC, but looking at the regional profile, as you can see right now, the region only has a 6.5% unemployment rate, meaning that there are actually a lot more jobs that are available. And employment statistics. So looking at the employment statistics, we're at 81%. It's only beaten by the Northeast area at 83%. And if you look at the Lower Mainland, they're at 79%. So the different jobs are available. And as you can see, the unemployment rate is also a little bit lower than the other areas as well. So going through all that, there's also the job market updates that you can go through. And this is the last one I want to show you, which is the BC Government of Canada Job Banks. And this looks at just the Prince George region, and there's 322 results for just Prince George, which is this area here. And you can put it to as little as much as you want, but this is at a 50-kilometer radius. So you can be a cook, restaurant manager, forester, which is $77,000. That's decent income there. Meat cutter for that's a pizza joint. That's actually pretty high for a pizza joint. Fire alarm installer, childcare, CNC machinist. There's a lot of jobs out there. You just have to look and find the jobs. I mean, I do know a lot of students tend to stay within their demographic. So Indian students will tend to work for restaurants, Indian restaurants and Indian-owned companies. But the whole purpose of coming to Canada and coming to a different environment is actually to learn other culture and learn how other people work. So you learn the Canadian, I guess, job market and Canadian way of doing business and how they do marketing. So when you do decide to go back to your home country, you are able to take those skill sets with you and then apply it to your own business at home. Or if you want to do your own business in Canada after you graduate, now you have experience and you have knowledge of how this accounting clerk works, right? So that's pretty much it for my presentation today. As I said, today is going to be a short presentation. So I'm happy to take any question that you may have right now.
Thank you so much, Richard, for this informative, this information is actually very informative. And I really believe that our valuable partners will also agree on this, that, the difference which you have just shown us about, the degree and diploma, and also about the exact figure, how much a student can earn after completing the graduation from UNBC. So this will definitely help our partner agents, and I hope that they might have got now boost up with a lot of confidence in order to promote UNBC, in order to get good number of applications for us.
So I have just put the links that I was showing earlier in the chat group here. So if you take a look at the chat box, you'll see that the link for the BC statistics. It may take a while because it does connect to the BC servers in British Columbia. If you're in Canada, it might be a little faster, but if you're in India or abroad, then it's not going to be as fast. But those are available. These are public data that the British Columbia government collects. So it showcases things that are available for us, right? And yeah, if you have any questions, I have time to answer them, and I'm willing to kind of answer all your questions. So the first question
So
is
we
for,
have a question from Sri Vishnu. Yeah, looking towards the co-op option for human resource management. So definitely,
so there,
Shri, we have a co-op option available.
yes, we have quite a few co-op
So the
postings
next
for
question is Richard.
students. I'm just gonna respond to that. There's actually quite a few co-op options and availability for HR management students. There is a shortage of HR practitioners up in northern BC. So there are a lot of companies looking to hire more HR practitioner. And that is one of the program that when you graduate, you're eligible to take the CHHRP, which is a Certified Human Resource Practitioner Certificate of British Columbia. And once you're part of that association, you are able to continue doing HR stuff. Okay. The next question is, what if the student has more than 7 years of study gap? That really depends on what they're studying, if their credential and previous credential is able to get into the institution. So for undergraduate, I'm assuming that's for undergraduates. In British Columbia, it's not so much of an issue getting admission to an institution. I think the more issue that you may have is probably with the study permits. They're going to ask you why you had a 7-year gap. With us is if you're able to explain it by giving us your resume and telling us what you did for the 7 years, that's fine. So what about getting a job while going and studying in university? As I mentioned, there is quite a few part-time jobs available in these student job postings. There are part-time jobs available, not just full-time jobs. And I only selected the full-time jobs right now because I know students are working full-time right now. There are plenty of jobs that are available around town during full-time. I do know right now a lot of our students, because of the COVID exemption, they were working full-time in January semesters up till now. This is their regularly scheduled break. So they're allowed to work full-time 40 hours a week during this time, but they have to be already started their semester with us. Okay. The next question is for computer science. I don't understand. Is that a question or a statement?
Actually, Richard, this question was related to the above question only. Like, so what about the job opportunities in university for computer science?
For computer science, there's actually quite a few. I do know that on campus itself, the university is hiring students, co-op students for our IT support staff, for example. Even our networking staff on campus alone. Computer science graduates are sought after in Prince George. So this is something that we are looking for more, especially with the Northern Health. We do have a UNBC University Hospital here that hires a lot of computer science graduates. We also have alumni that have dedicated job postings for UNBC graduates for computer science in places like stem cells, into Tajid computer, I think Tajid data analysts. I forget what the company's called, but he graduated from UNBC, went on to do his PhD in University of Waterloo, came back to British Columbia, set up his own company. And then he decided to, hey, I'm going to take students who are from UNBC to who is in computer science and want to do co-op or want to learn about stuff. Okay. So moving on to the next question is, how much is living expenses? Well, living expenses can really depends. I mean, you can rent a room for $300 to $800 a month. You can share an apartment if you want with somebody. I mean, apartment rates right now go from anywhere from $600 to $1,800, depending on how big and lavish your apartment you want to be. And then the food expense, from my understanding from other students, you're looking at $200 to $400 a month. If you cook yourself more, then it might be cheaper, but if you eat out all the time, it could be more expensive. So that's what we're looking at here. Rohit asks, the average pay difference between degree and graduate is approximately $10. Is that only no? So that stats that I first produced, that was across Canada. That was not just in Prince George. The latter one, which I showed you with the database with the salary of the students, the average median salary, that one is only specific to British Columbia. And if you look at the one for UNBC, that will be for UNBC graduates. So the statistics that I provided was for across Canada for the $10 an hour. But if you look at the BC Stats website, the data viewer, then you'll see the difference between diploma, certificates, degree, and whatnot. Okay. Another question by Rohit: is it mandatory of HR professionals to have their HR certificate to practice as an HR professional? The short answer is no, but is highly, highly recommended. So if you do want to work for HR department at, say, UNBC or any big corporation, Canfor, or even the Northern Health, they do require an CHRP, or if you're in the process of getting it. So this is something that we do recommend, which is why we do also offer it at UNBC. They are able to take the examination afterwards. For a co-op program at UNBC, what we do is the students have to complete at least 1 year of education with a minimum of 2.67 GPA, and they have to go through a series of workshops to be a co-op student. So co-op is optional for UNBC, and they are the availability throughout. So you can do 2 semesters or 1 semesters, depending on what the job posting is. You can also bring your own job opportunity too, if you have a job opportunity, and you can bring it to the co-op, and that could be considered your co-op experience. Okay. So if you want more information about that, there is actually a website that you can look through for UNBC co-op. Okay. What about PCB fields like healthcare? I don't know what PCB fields are.
It means that student belonging from physics, chemistry, and bio background. Basically, a medical background, grade 12 student after completing the health science program. So what can be the opportunities?
There's actually a tons of opportunities. I mean, you can work in a nursing care home, you can work in a long-term facility, you can also work in a medical office, or even take the examination if you want to be a pharmacist or a veterinarian. Those are also possibility. For healthcare, we do have a lot of opportunities for students, including exchange opportunities if they're interested in learning exchange or co-op in other countries. So that's also available as well. Is there scope for part-time jobs? I don't understand what you mean by scope.
She is, I guess this candidate is looking towards again the part-time option. So Richard has already answered to this, that there are a lot of part-time options available. We just need to search on the websites and the links which he has given to us.
Okay. So what opportunities will MBA students have from a financial background, and how much will the student earn? That is actually a big question, because as far as I know, our MBA graduates so far has earned $60,000 to $80,000 after they've graduated. With financial background, depending on what firm you went to. I mean, it could any range. I mean, I have friends who work for KPMG after they've graduated from their MBA, and they have tripled their income. So it really depends on what they want to do. And where they go afterwards. If you are a CPA, for example, and you do an MBA, you could easily be a chief financial officer for a company, right? So it's hard to say how much they will earn or what type of job prospect they will have, but an MBA will give the student more of a leverage of understanding how business works. So yeah. Repeat the admission requirements. I will leave that for Mehek and to answer for our undergraduates. So Mehek.
Okay, so for undergraduate, so as we have 2 categories, journal entry and competitive. For journal entry, we're looking towards 55% overall, no subject less than 50. If it's a competitive entry, means engineering programs and health science. So our minimum requirement is 65% overall, no subject less than 60. However, We always recommend our students, if you're applying for competitive entry, you should be having above 70% to meet the competitive.
Perfect. So I'm actually not going to talk about graduate program and master's right now. So this is a job and career outcome for our bachelor and undergraduate programs. If you have more questions about that, please reach out to Mehek and the MSM team. They'll be able to answer that. Blacklog as well, that is for postgraduate and master's programs. So we're not going to talk about that. Scholarships. We do provide scholarships. We actually give away $3.5 million of scholarships every year. That's 3.5 million Canadian. And it is on a need-based basis. So it's not a merit-based scholarship where you apply and you get automatic scholarship. You actually have to go into your My UNBC portal to apply for scholarships. So once the students are admitted, they have access to the portal, then they can go into there to apply for the scholarships that they need. Okay. Which universities are good for healthcare bachelors? I would actually say UNBC is one of the better ones for healthcare professionals because we do have something called biomedical studies, which is a competitive health science degree. And there are other options that are available in the regions, but they're generally more diploma programs. You can take a look at the lower mainland schools. VIU, I believe, has a healthcare professional bachelor, but they're still lacking in hours. So yeah, I would say UNBC is probably a little bit better for healthcare because we actually work directly with the hospital here in town to provide a lot of hands-on training for our healthcare students and health science students. So that's something that you might want to look into as well. Any other questions related to undergraduates or career options?
I guess, Richard, we have already answered in most of the questions we have answered. So,
it seems that way. But if you guys do have questions or
yeah, we have answered all the questions.
Or if you say, hey, this is very informative, I would like to learn more about this, message Mehek, message Dasita, Jay, or the MSM team, and let them know what topics you want me to cover. I'm happy to create a personalized kind of webinar for you guys. This was a webinar requested by the agents, so I'm happy to put together these information because I have them off the top of my head, but sometimes it is difficult. It's easier to show you guys on these webinars and on these screens where to find the information so you can better explain to your clients and explain to your students why UNBC might be a better option versus the other schools. And looking at all the costs, cost of living, tuition rates, and whatnot. I mean, our tuition rate is competitive, and if you want to look at other research university, there is a slide that Mehek and Jay will be able to provide for you as well. But yeah, just let us know, let me know. I'm happy to provide any slides or any documents that you guys need. And I really do hope to meet you guys in person soon. And I do hope that you guys are all staying safe and staying healthy. And so I can meet you and see your lovely students when they arrive at UNBC. So other than that, I think we'll call it a night, for me at least, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you guys spending time with me today, and I look forward to meeting you guys in person.
Thank you so much, Richard, for enlightening us related to each and every factors of UNBC and about the job opportunities in Prince George. I hope you all have enjoyed our exclusive live session. Thank you for participating in today's webinar. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye now.